Chapter 3 The Echo That Remembers, Part 1. The whisper of my name faded into the mist, but the chill it left behind stayed lodged in my spine like a splinter. I didn't move, not at first. I stayed curled inside the hollow log, listening to the swamp beneath around me. The mist shifted in slow, deliberate waves. The trees creaked softly, their branches swaying, even though the air was still. The water rippled with no wind, no movement, no reason. Everything here felt alive, not alive like a forest, alive like a mind. I exhaled slowly, forcing my muscles to unclench. Okay, I whispered, you're not dead. That's a start. The log was cramped, damp, and smelled like rot, but it was shelter. Shelter was rare. Shelter meant survival. Shelter meant time to think. I crawled out slowly, careful not to make noise. The swamp was quiet, too quiet. The mist hung low, swirling around my boots. The glowing fungus on the trees pulsed faintly, casting eerie reflections across the black water. The sky overhead churned with storm clouds, lightning flickering silently inside them like trapped electricity. I scanned the area. No sign of the apex entity. No ripples in the water. No movement in the trees. Good. I needed to move before the world decided to shift again. I stepped off the island, boots sinking into the muck with wet squelch. The cold mud crawled up my ankles like it was trying to pull me under. Not today. I pushed forward, using the twisted roots as stepping stones. The swamp stretched endlessly, the mist swallowing everything beyond a few feet. Every soul felt like amplified. The drip of the water, the creak of the branches, the distant rumble of thunder. The interface flickered into view. Code. Temporal layer stable. Stability 63%. Chrono energy 33. Core integrity 92%. Environmental hazard high. High hazard, yeah, no kidding. I moved slowly, scanning the water for movement. The swamp creature from earlier could still be out there. Or something worse. The mist shifted. A faint glow appeared ahead, soft blue and pulsing gently. I froze. Another orb? I approached cautiously, gripping the metal shard tighter, the glow brighter. Then it moved, not floating like the memory orb, not drifting like a firefly, walking. A figure emerged in the mist, and my breath caught. It was human. A man, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing tattered clothing soaked in swamp water. His skin was pale, almost translucent. His eyes glowed faintly blue like the chrono wells. He stopped a few feet away, staring at me. I raised a shard. Stay back. The man didn't react. He didn't even blink, didn't even breathe, and the interface flickered violently. Code. Warning. Temporal echo detected. Classification. Human residual. Threat level unknown. Temporal echo. A person but not a person? A memory trapped in the world? The man tilted his head slow like a puppet on strings. His mouth opened. No sound came out. Just a faint cackle, static, then a whisper. Not from his mouth. From everywhere. Help me. My heart pounded. Who are you? The man took a step forward. His form flickered, glitching like a corrupted video frame. Another whisper. Don't forget. I backed away. What does that mean? The man reached toward me. His hand passed through my chest like cold smoke. A shock of freezing shot through me. My vision blurred, my knees buckled, and I collapsed into the mud, gasping. The interface glitched violently. Code. Warning. Memory interference detected. Chrono core reaction unstable. Stability 63% down to 61%. The man flicked again. His face twisted, not in anger, not in pain, but in desperation. Don't let it take me. And don't let it take you. Then he shattered. His body dissolved into shards of blue light, scattering into the midst like dust. I lay there shaking. What? What was that? The swamp didn't answer. The mist swirled slowly, curling around me like a living thing. I pushed myself upright, wiping mud from my face. Okay, new rule. Don't touch glowing swamp ghosts. I stood, legs trembling. The ground trembled beneath me. I froze. A deep rumble echoed through the swamp. Not thunder, not the apex entity. Something else. The mist thickened, swirling violently, and the interface flashed red. Code. Warning. Temporal surge approaching. Distance 180 meters. Recommendation. Take cover. Cover where? The swamp offered nothing but water, mud, and twisted trees. The grumble grew louder, and the mist churned. The sky flickered. I ran. The swamp slowed me down, every step sinking into the muck. The rumble grew louder, shaking the ground. The mist glowed faintly, pulsing with blue light. I stumbled onto another patch of dry ground, a small rise covering in glowing fungus. The rumble peaked, and the mist exploded outward. A wave of blue light tore through the swamp, ripping through the trees, water, everything. I threw myself behind a fallen trunk, and the wave hit. Pain shot through my body like electricity, and my vision went white. My ears rang, and my heart stammered against my ribs. The interface glitched violently. Code: temporal surge contact, chrono core reaction, severe stability, 61% down to 58%. The wave passed, and the swamp fell silent. I lay there gasping, every muscle trembling. What? What was that? A whisper drifted through the mist. The world remembers even when you don't. I closed my eyes. Seriously? Am I already losing my mind? The mist swirled, the swamp hummed, and somewhere in the distance something began to move. Something big, something coming closer. The sound wave came again, a deep dragging movement somewhere beyond the mist, slow, heavy, deliberate, like something enormous was wading through the swamp with absolute confidence that nothing could change it. I pressed myself lower behind the fallen trunk, heart hammering so hard it felt like it might shake the log apart. The mist shifted and the shadow moved. Not the flickering glitch of a predator, not the shifting glow of an echo. Something solid, something more real. The ground trembled with each step, and I held my breath. The mist parted just enough for me to see it. A massive silhouette, easily 15 feet tall, lumbered through the swamp, and its body was hunched, its arms long enough to drag through the water, and its skin was dark and slick, covered with patches of glowing fungus. Its head was elongated, with a ridge of bone running down the center like a blade. But its eyes glowed with the same blue light as the chrono wells, and the interface flickered again violently. Code: Apex entity identified. Designation: Mire Titan. Threat level: lethal. Recommendation: do not engage. No problem there. Mire Titan paused, turning its head slowly, its eyes glowing, scanning the swamp, cutting through the mist like street searchlights. The air vibrated with each breath it took. A deep rumble exhaled that sent ripples across the water. I pressed myself deeper into the hollow log, barely daring to breathe, and the Titan sniffed the air. My stomach dropped. It smelled me. The creature turned toward my island. The ground trembled, and the water rippled. The mist swirled violently around its legs. I clenched my jaw, gripping the metal shard so tightly my knuckles ached. Please, I whispered, just keep walking. The Titan took another step, then another. The log shook with each impact. It was coming straight toward me, and the interface flashed red. Code: warning, apex entity approaching, distance 42 meters. I swallowed hard. If it reached the island, I'm a dead man. No, chrono instinct would save me, right? No spirit, no hiding, nothing. I need a distraction. I scanned the swamp desperately. Nothing but water, mud, and trees. The Titan roared, a deep guttural sound that vibrated through my bones. I flinched. The log creaked. The Titan stopped. It turned its head toward the sound. My breath caught. Then, slowly, it stepped away. Not toward me, toward something else. A faint glow flickered in the mist. Another orb. This one wasn't blue. It was violet. The same color as the pool beneath the ancient tree. The Titan growled, lowering its head. The orb pulsed, drifting just out of reach. The Titan followed, lumbering deeper into the swamp. The ground trembled as it moved. I didn't breathe until the tremors faded completely. The interface dimmed. Code: Apex entity departed. Stability 58%. I exhaled shakily, crawling out of the log. Okay, I whispered. That was just too close. The swamp was quiet again, not peaceful. The violet the violet orb hovered in the distance, pulsating softly. It drifted slowly, almost invitingly, like it wanted me to follow. I tightened my grip on the shard. Last time I followed a glowing thing, it messed with my head. The orb pulsed again. A whisper drifted through the mist. Come see. I shivered. Yeah, that's not ominous at all. But the orb didn't move away. It waited. I took a cautious step forward anyways, and the orb drifted back slightly, keeping the same distance, leading me, not luring, leading. I followed. The swamp grew deeper and the water rising to my knees. The mud sucked into my boots at every step. The mist thickened, swirling around me like a living thing. The orb pulsed brighter. The whisper grew clearer. Remember. I clutched my jaw. I'm trying. The orb drifted toward a cluster of twisted trees. The roots formed a tangled archway glowing faintly with violet light. The air beneath the arch felt cooler, heavier. And the orb passed through. I hesitated. The whisper came again. You must see. I stepped through the arch. The world shifted. Not a reset, not a surge, something else. The swamp dissolved into darkness. I stumbled, reaching out blindly. My hand touched stone. Cold, smooth, familiar? A faint light flickered. I blinked. I was standing in a corridor. A human corridor. Metal walls, flicking lights, and a grated floor beneath my boots. My heart pounded. No, this isn't real. The interface flickered violently. Code, warning, memory echo projection, source unknown, stability impact, moderate. A projection, a memory, but not mine. Footsteps echoed down the corridor. I turned. A man ran past me, the same man from the swamp echo. His clothes were torn, though, his face pale. His eyes were wide with terror. He didn't see me. He ran straight through me like I wasn't there. I spun, watching him disappear around the corner. Another figure appeared. A woman this time. She stumbled, clutching her side, blood dripping from her fingers. Her eyes glowed faintly blue. She whispered something. I leaned closer. It's breaking. The world is breaking. She collapsed. I reached for her instinctively. My hand passed through her. The corridor flicked. The lights dimmed. A deep rumble shook the walls. The same rumble from the swamp. The same rumble from the cavern. The same rumble from the resets. The corridor dissolved. The swamp snapped back into place. I staggered, nearly falling into the mucky water. The violet orb hovered in front of me, pulsing softly. I stared at it, chest heaving. Wait, what was that, and who were they? The orb pulsed one last time. A whisper echoed through the mist. You're not the first, but you may be the last. Then the orb shattered, dissolving into violet dust. I stood there shaking. The swamp hummed softly, the mist swirled, and somewhere in the distance, the Mire Titan roared again. Pause. The Mire Titan's roar rolled through the swamp like thunder trapped inside a nightmare. It wasn't just sound, it was pressure. The kind that made the air vibrate and the water shiver. I crouched low, gripping the metal shard, scanning the midst of the movement. The violet dust from the shattered orb still hung in the air, glowing faintly like embers suspended in a fog. The swamp answered the roar with silence and a whisper. Run. Didn't argue. I sprinted through that muck, boots slapping against the water, breath tearing through my chest. The mist thickened, swallowing everything behind me, and the Titan's footsteps followed, slow, deliberate, impossibly heavy. Each impact sent ripples racing through the swamp, and the interface flickered. Code, Apex Entity Pursuit detected, distance 210 meters, chrono energy 33, core integrity 92%. I pushed harder, weaving between twisted trees and glowing roots, and the swamp seemed to shift around me, the terrain changing with every step. Paths that had been clear seconds ago closed off, replaced by pools of black water. The world was rewriting itself again. Come on, come on, right now. A flash of blue light erupted ahead. I skidded to a stop. A chrono well, smaller than the one in the cavern, but pulsing violently. The air around it shimmered, bending like heat waves. The Titan roared again, closer now. I had two choices: run blind into the swamp, or gamble with the well. I stepped toward the light. The interface glitched. Warning: chrono well unstable. Energy output excessive. Risk level critical. Yeah, I figured that. I crouched beside it, feeling the heat radiating off the surface. The energy swirled faster, forming shapes, faces, hands, eyes, all reaching upward. I hesitated. Then the ground shook. The Titan was close. Plunged my hand into that well. Pain exploded up my arm, white hot and blinding. My vision fractured, my body convulsed, and the world bent inward. The interface screamed. Code: chrono energy surge, core overload imminent. Stability 58% down to 54%. I gritted my teeth, forcing myself not to pull away. The energy poured into me, chaotic, violent, alive. It wasn't just power, it was a memory. Fragments of voices, faces, places I've never seen, a city under a broken sky, a woman standing in a field of glass, a child holding a glowing crystal, a man, the same man from the echo, screaming as the world collapsed around him, and silence. The energy snapped back. I fell backward, gasping. The well dimmed. The Titan's roar shook the trees, and I staggered to my feet, vision swimming. The interface flickered. Code: chrono energy 61. Core integrity 89%. New ability unlocked. Chrono pulse. Description: emit a shockwave that disables energy entities. Energy cost 20. I stared at the display. Chrono pulse. All right, let's see what that can do. The Titan shadow loomed through the mist, massive and unstoppable. I raised my hand. Activate. Blue light exploded outward, ripping through the swamp. The air cracked. Water surged. The Titan roared, its body flicking violently. The interface flashed. Code: chrono pulse successful. Entity stability 72 down to 48%. The Titan staggered, its eyes dimming. I didn't wait. I ran. The swamp blurred around me, the mist twisting into spirals of light, and my body felt lighter, faster, like the energy was carrying me. The Titan roared again, weaker this time, and the ground trembled. Then silence. I stopped, chest heaving. The mist cleared slightly, revealing a stretch of dry ground ahead. A small structure stood there, half buried in mud, covered in vines. Metal. Human made. I approached slowly. The structure was a bunker, rusted, dented, but intact. The door hung open, its hinges corroded. Faint blue light flickered inside, though. I stepped through, and the air was cold, stale, and heavy with dust. And the air was lined with old equipment: monitors, cables, storage crates. Everything was dead except for one terminal, still glowing faintly. I wiped mud from my hands and touched the screen. It flickered to life. Lines of text scrolled across. Code: Chrono Project log entity entry 001. Date unknown. Subject: temporal collapse. Summary: the resets are accelerating. Containment failed. The core is unstable. Directive: preserve memory, preserve identity, preserve hope. My breath caught. Another line appeared. Subject: Jax Calder. Status: active. I froze. Wait a minute. The terminal flickered again. You were part of this. You helped build the core. You caused the first reset. I stumbled backward. No, 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 no. That's no, no, just no. The terminal glitched and the screen flashed violently. Then a final message: remember who you were before the world forgot. The light faded, and the terminal went dark. I stood there, shaking. The swamp hummed outside, and the interface flickered one last time. Code stability 54%, chrono energy 61. Directive updated. Recover memory fragments. I exhaled slowly. Recover memory fragments. I guess that's next, I whispered. I stepped out to the bunker, and the mist twirled. The swamp was quiet, but somewhere in the distance, beneath the hum of the world, I could still hear the echo of my own name, whispered by something that remembered me before I even arrived.